Hello guys, my name is Tara. Welcome to my channel. This will be your June 15th to June 30th reading. Following this month, we'll be sticking with monthly zodiac readings, but I had ended your last reading mid-June, so I wanted to finish out the month of June for you guys. But here on out, we will be doing month to month, so July 1st to August 1st for your next one, for instance. This reading will be for Scorpio Sun, Moon, and Risings. As I had last time, I shuffled the cards beforehand so that we could jump right into the reading and we didn't have to deal with any distractions or anything behind us. And alright, getting with that, we'll get started. So, the first card I asked my cards, what is the theme for the next 2 weeks for Scorpios? And the card that had come out was the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune deals with cycles, cycles of life coming back around, fate, destiny, the paths that life take us to, if you will. So I do feel like this being the theme for the 2 weeks I do feel like it's a possibility that people from your life that have come and gone in cycles will do so again. Something that has been a big theme of yours. So I'm just going to put for instance. This doesn't necessarily have to be for you guys, but let's just say that you guys have a problem with confrontation, right? So every time conflict or confrontation comes up, you find a way to avoid it. But now, like, cycles are going to come up where confrontation is coming up every which way. And why is this happening? Because it's a cycle to make you finally break the chain of something that you've been looped in. So for the next 2 weeks, I do feel that there will be a lot of things coming up in a cyclic pattern that you've been dealing with for the last probably couple of years. And these are coming through so that you could actually heal through them, work through them, and fix it this time around. So I do feel for a lot of you, fate is going to come into play for you intensely. Sorry. This could also be a thing because I was saying to some of the other zodiacs, and I'll say it to you guys, on July 7th, Mercury will be going retrograde. And usually when that happens, people from our past start to come back. We have issues with communication, yes, but there are also we have a lot of communication that occurs with people that have been in our lives before. And why? Because they're coming back to deal with something that we haven't communicated. But why are they happening around the time where communication isn't going well? So this could be that this is all happening for you so that you get the chance before retrograde happens, so that you can actually work through those cycles. So I do feel for a lot of you, fate will have a big part for this. So the next card I asked was what was something shocking that was going to happen for you guys. And the card that I had received for that was the Ten of Pentacles. So I see for this because she is someone who is overly abundant. She has a lot of gold things. She has a lot of items. There's a lot of wealth behind her. She's feeling very comfortable with life. And remember, Pentacles usually has to deal with our finances or, our things in our practical life and practical realm. And 10 being the end of a cycle, I feel like how this could be shocking for you guys is I think that you're coming to a cycle within your finances that you've been struggling with for a while. And I think there's a possibility that you guys haven't been doing so well financially, or maybe within your career, or I think honestly it's more than it is with jobs. I think it will have to deal with what money you have behind you. And I do feel like you are going to start to see a lot more abundance. You might be getting money back on investments that you've made. Things that you've worried about with money are really starting to show you that there's nothing to worry about. And I think you're going to feel really secure in that way, in that aspect. And I think you might not have realized how much of a flowing income was going to come your way, but I think that you're going to have a lot of blessings and manifestations in this area. Now, something that can keep you balanced for the next 2 weeks. I always like to ask this question because I want to know how you could keep on the most balanced plane as possible. And for you guys, the card that had come out was the Star card. So I do have to say this too, because the Star card is one of those cards that to me comes up as like your twin flame, or like, you know, your soulmate. And it came out with the Wheel of Fortune, which is why I kind of feel like for this, I do feel like a lot of you are going to have somebody come back, like an old flame come back, or maybe if it's not your twin flame, it's somebody that you view it as highly as such. And if it's not that, and that's making you feel grounded because it's making you feel like you're getting what you had thought was coming in for a long time, then what it could also mean for you guys is that you can stay grounded by giving to others, because the Star card is representative of Aquarius energy, and Aquarians are very humanitarian, like based. They care a lot about other people, and the thing is they're a little detached from that, so they're able to do so without getting their emotions too involved. So what could really help you feel grounded at this time is if you really are feeling that abundant and getting all of these good things, to really balance that out and make sure that keeps occurring in your life. You have to give gratitude and give back. So giving to others and giving other energies and being able to help other people is very beneficial and will continue your continue this like abundance manifestation into your life. So if you want to keep receiving it, you have to also give thanks to it. So that could be another thing. It could also be a person balancing you out, or someone really in your, like, this could also be someone that you're already with, and they're just really being that star, that like a beaming light for you, and making you feel at peace and at home and healed. But if it's not that, or an Aquarius could also be healing you. So those are a few interpretations because this is a general reading, but I do feel the most part of it is if you're receiving all of this abundant energy and all of this extra money and things, this good flow of things coming in, just try to give back so that you can continue that forward. Now, the card I had asked after that was like, what were some big emotions that were going to come up? And the Page of Wands was the card that came out. So I do feel that you guys, I said this for the Libras as well, so you could check that out. Just because sometimes when the same cards are popping up in other readings, it could mean, and like in the same placements, it could mean that, you know, you have some kind of involvement. So yeah, the Page of Wands, I said it for them, and why I'm laughing is the Page of Wands is all about like your passionate energy, your desires, like creativity. So like, as you could see, she's creating by playing a violin, I guess, right? Yeah, violin. So what's another way of creation? Well, sexual energy. So it could be that you are attracting a lot of sexual energy towards you. It could be that you're attracting possible suitors. It could also be that people are very attracted to you. You don't necessarily have to be doing anything, but you could be attracting a lot of people in your life. You could also have a lot of inspiration and a lot of emotions that are really pushing you to go after something, but you might be going after something without fully thinking about it, because the page runs after it because it's like a childlike energy. There's not much to tell it like no. It's more, it reminds me very much of an Aries, whereas they just kind of have this idea in their head and they go after it because they're very spontaneous. You see, so this is an energy of the emotions that you're going to be feeling for the next 2 weeks. So I really do feel like you're going to be feeling very passionate, and you're going to be, you know, getting a lot of people attracted to you and drawing them in, and you're going to be feeling very creative, and you're going to be creating in whichever way that means for you guys. And the other hand of that, though, is just that though you are doing all of these things, it's very like fleeting emotions. So if these emotions are towards a person, they're going to like die out, because once you get bored of this thing you get so excited about, you go on to something new, because that's what a child does, right? They don't stay so loyal to something because they're learning about new things in life. So I think you're going to have a lot of like passionate, quick energy, but it's not going to stick with any one thing. So just go with that. And also be aware of the fact that there might be something you're going after that you don't have all the information behind. And you might get burned because of that a little bit. Now, the next card I had asked my cards, when I drew the next card, I had asked what is this card? Oh, what will inspire you? And again, this is another card that came out in the same placement as Libra, so I drew it to them. So what I think will inspire you is it could be a Pisces inspiring you in your life right now. This could be because the Pisces, like the moon card represents Pisces, and Pisces also represent the musicians. You could be inspired by music. You could be inspired by like really your heart's desires, because the moon also represents what your heart truly wants. And why it's in the dark is because you have to really dig deep to think about that sometimes, because our ego gets in the way of a lot. But now I think what's inspiring you is you might feel really connected to what your heart truly wants. And I think you're also going to feel inspired by the desire to create a path for yourself, because nothing's really that lit. There are some spots in the moonlight that you're being guided by, but you could also go throughout the dark. And Scorpios really like to do that. You guys are associated with the dark sides of the zodiac. So I think you do well in this energy. So I think you're going to feel inspired by all of this emotional energy. Now, I'm also reminding you guys that July 22nd, we're going into Cancer. So you guys are going to be in that water modality. So you guys are going to be all in your feelings. So I think you're going to feel inspired by this change, because you guys love being in water. That means that you guys are in like a trine energy. Is it trine? No, because I don't think we have a grand water trine, but sorry. But I do feel like you guys, because Scorpios and Cancers are both water modalities, elements, you guys are going to feel at home in this place, and you're going to be able to work through those emotions and really get the most out of this time. Now, the next card, I asked how your spirit guides are going to speak to you, and the card that came out for that was the Six of Swords. So I believe that the Six of Swords is all about like harmony, especially after a tough time. So I feel like things were rough for a long time, and they're really starting to feel like peaceful. So you're finally starting to feel at peace, and like you're able to just take a rest, and things are feeling like harmonious. You might also see a lot of crows or ravens around you, because they are on the card for a reason. Swans as well might show you some kind of a sign that your spirit guides are there or are speaking to you. Make sure to look out for them. You might hear cawing in the morning, especially if this is after a dream that you were having. Pay attention to your dreams. They're going to find their ways to speak to you to make sure that you are on the right path and that you don't become consumed by anything anymore, because they want you to rest. The Six is about resting. The Six of Swords especially is about resting. So your spirit guides want you to get that rest so that you're able to get the most out of your time. And the next card was how you can best support yourself for the next 2 weeks. And the Eight of Swords came out, which means this card is a card about being trapped, and especially about having a way out, but like being deluded to that fact. Especially because it definitely revolves around the Rider-Waite definitions, but if you've ever seen the Rider-Waite deck, there's actually a clear way for the girl to move out. This way the swan seems a little bit more trapped, but even if you look at what the card actually means, there is a way out. It's just going to take critical thinking, something that's like a new way of thinking. Also, it's more about your mind right now and breaking through the physical and the spiritual realm. So you have to support yourself by finding new ways out of it and getting yourself out of your headspace, getting yourself out of this way of thinking, getting more into the doing, because you're going to attract the people and the situations into your life by getting out of your space, not by staying into it. Alright guys, and the bottom of the deck is the Judgment card, which is the card all about your calling, which is why I really do feel like this was a person coming into your life, and that they could be like your calling, because they're showing you parts of yourself that are going to help you get to your like greatest place. So that could also just mean that these are lessons coming up for you so that you're able to get to do your calling and be in your space. But I do feel like my first reaction was like romantic. So I'm going to put that out for you guys. Take that how you will. However, the Judgment card is like the hidden message behind it. So you are being called to something that is greater than yourself, and you will probably feel very connected to things on a spiritual level. Alright guys, that is your reading. I will see you guys again July 1st. If you liked this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.